Hey guys, this is James.
And this is Denny from TD bringing you guys episode 205. My good sir, what do we have here today?
Yeah, so we have some raw pour from Theosophy, which is a vendor that has been around, but they've only recently started to be active at selling to the West. So this is one of their nicer, more premium Iwu productions, the Ghoul Young. Yeah.
Nice. What year are we working with?
This is 2016 spring.
Cool.
So it is young, and we will see how we like it.
Nice. All right.
So Denny is brewing here today, so we're giving Denny the chance at some raw pour.
Yeah, that was a huge chunk. I'm going to leave that there. Some smaller pieces out. So we got one medium-sized chunk, another medium-sized chunk, and then some loose leaf here. We are eyeballing. Do you know how much total grammage we have here?
You know, I think it's probably around 15, 20, something like that. So
all right,
that looks like plenty.
That's a ton. So we will be stress testing this tea for sure.
We will. And
nice big leaves.
Yeah. And how often do you drink young raws, Denny?
Oh man, not often anymore. I'd say that the average age would be 6 to 10 years old now, so it's still young-ish, but all things considered, that's not, it's not from last year. Those things, you'll be able to taste a little bit of the age, and it will definitely have mellowed out a little bit already.
Right. I mean, it's definitely a different beast. I mean, these teas can be, they offer a much different appeal when they're young, like a lot of that young, crisp freshness.
It's yellow. And we're going to pour this out. We'll just use this as a rinse.
Looks strong, so seems like a good idea. Pretty aromatic, really sweet aroma.
Right. I left that, if you guys notice, I left that to hang out for a second, but we're going to flash brew here.
Yeah. We'll see how strong this tea is to get going.
Another smell in there. Yeah, some really nice aromatics, nice sweet, light flavors, but you can definitely smell the pu'er. So.
Yep, definitely smells like your young raw pour.
And while we let that just hang out for just one more second, I'm going to go ahead and just begin this next steep. Oops.
So it's brewing up kind of a light, pale yellow.
Yep.
Is how I guess I would describe this color.
And the guy one is now basically full.
Which means that we're definitely using enough leaf.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say erring on the side of green, but maybe a couple of those leaves are getting a little bit browner in there.
And you used mainly kind of looser pieces, so it's coming apart a little bit faster than it would otherwise.
Yep.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
A little vegetal. Definitely tastes young. Got some bite in the front of it.
Decent body already, actually, right off the bat.
A little salty, maybe a little hint of some, like a little bit of some sort of citrusy stuff going on. But
interesting.
Not too sweet, at least not yet. What do you think?
Yeah, it's also not too bitter yet. So I think I don't know. The verdict, I think, is still out for me on this tea. I think it was generally pretty soft, generally pretty easy to drink. It's not overly aggressive or harsh, which is nice.
Right. And the reason that you're bringing those up, James, I'm assuming, is because so many of these young raw pu'ers that you folks might be trying, especially if you're just getting into raw pu'er and you want something cheap, they're going to have those harsher notes, right? And those might not be indicative of the quality of raw pu'er that will age out and lose a lot of those sort of bitey, strong, young flavors. So recognizing that there's not too much of that oomph in this tea today means that potentially the quality of the tea will continue to improve. But this is also a suitable tea at its current age.
Yeah, to drink at least. It's nice. I mean, sometimes those characteristics will age out of the tea, and that could be a reason, something to look out for if you're looking to age the team in the long term.
Yeah.
But as far as just like my own enjoyment, harshness and roughness and bitterness are not specifically things that I enjoy.
Absolutely. Getting a little bit of residual sweetness now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing about that, James, I'm going to be interested in hearing your opinion. Do you think that even if there is a hint of bitterness or roughness early on, could that be a good thing? Because 10 years down the line...
I think it could be. I think it depends on the nature of it. Sometimes I know one mistake that... well, maybe not a mistake, but one processing mishap that sometimes happens is, you know how green tea is basically is fried at a super high temperature,
right,
but pu'er is done at lower.
Right.
So if you fry the pu'er at too high a temperature, you're going to kill the green too much, and so the tea could taste really wonderful early on,
right,
and maybe not have as much of those bitter notes and stuff.
Right.
But then it's going to flatten out and it won't age.
Right.
So that's something that can be a bit challenging to select for. I mean, I don't know if I would trust myself as far as selecting against that. And we're not at all passing judgment on this tea here.
No.
We're just, this is a
processing.
open-ended...
It's a processing question, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's because of the kill green is going to be because of the enzymatic activity.
Right, so they would do it at too high of a temperature or something, or too hard, and
so it might turn that. So if there is sort of forth a wine analogy, there are certain wines that really are meant to be drank immediately, and they don't have any longevity. And so, but there's a part of that is because of the preparation and processing of that wine. Part of it is because of the grape and the material as well. So, and the same thing can be true of pu'er. So, but we've had one cup. Let's keep drinking.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Better body now, thicker,
more florals. Yeah. Bit of tannins, more tannins in this steep than the first steep. Probably a healthy sign, honestly. Soft overall.
Yeah, I like there's a nice residual sweetness going on. I'm gonna actually nuke the water again because we've been talking so much. It's getting a little bit of a deeper yellow.
Yeah.
Paleness is kind of going away, getting a bit more of a vibrant color there, liqueur wise. So, and your younger raws are going to be erring on the side of a yellower liqueur compared to an older raw, which is going to end up a little bit more orange, maybe even red.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So this is just a quick way to test the age on the tea. Not always the case, but
yeah,
nice little.
Depends how you brew it too. Like if you dumped in hot water and then brewed it for 3 minutes, and it would taste terrible, and it'd probably be like orange.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. You know, I mean, this is just, to me, it's soft enough to be drinking now, but I think I would be excited to be having this tea in a couple of years more than anything. There's a bit of a roughness around the edges for this tea for me still.
Is it tannins or is it something else?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's just the texture of it itself, like mouthfeel wise, it's just a little bit too involved and violent in my mouth. That's okay, but not something that I would be drinking on a daily basis, I don't think.
Right. You know, and I think, at least for this session, I think I agree with you. I think it's a little bit, there are definitely some tannins in this tea, and it definitely has some edges that it could smooth out. I think definitely the form of a really nice tea is in there.
Yeah. And I am brewing a massive amount of leaf here. We're doing the Scott Wilson style.
Yeah.
Shout out to Scott.
Yeah. Well, Scott Wilson style would be to also pour it in and wait for
and then tell a story for 10 minutes.
Meanwhile, like, everyone else is like...
even his dog, Lucy, is just sitting there like, oh my god.
Dog Lucy is like, brew the tea, Scott, brew the tea.
We love you, Scott.
Yeah, we do. We kid.
So, the core wise, even more yellow. And
and I think it's a testament to the amount of leaf that we're using that this is still brewing a pretty solid color, even though we haven't even reheated the water.
What do you think about the nose on that? I think it's wonderful.
It's changing.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. It's really sweet. Maybe
more florals and fruits and stuff.
Maybe a little bit more fruity. So that's a good sign. I mean,
the aromas really come out. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, again, this is a really young raw pour, so all things considered, this might not be the typical point in the life cycle of this tea that you'd be drinking it. So it's hard to say how it's going to evolve in terms of when we're aging this tea, but seems like it would get better and better.
Right.
Yeah, really nice floral on the aroma.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Still pretty bitter right up front, though.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's not.
Getting a little bit more of that citrus, but not tasting. The sweetness is not in any way overpowering. I've had some young raws where, man, it is so delicate, it is so soft, it is so sweet. It's almost like it'd be hard to overbrew it. You can definitely do that, but this is not one of those teas. So, but on the other hand, again, that means that there might be even a bigger space for the aging process to develop this tea over time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's generally a very healthy thing if you're looking at tea in the long term to have those sorts of tannins that we're getting here. And I think the other thing I would also like to say about just pour, like Denny just said that he doesn't drink a lot of young pour right now. I don't personally drink a lot of young pour right now. So for us, this tea is going to taste just more tannic,
also true.
Stronger than it would for someone that's like chugging young raw pours, just based off of relative comparison.
Exactly. If you're drinking a young raw and tasting different young raws every day, you'll be able to distinguish much more nuance in this. This could taste even sweet or, not at all bitter to you because of what your sort of context has been on your palate recently.
Yeah. And I will say, I'm really enjoying the lasting aftertaste in this. I think it's really, it's definitely not sweet initially, but it's leaving a lot of sweet feelings.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a sign of a good tea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if folks wanted to pick this up, James, where would they do so? Yeah,
you should go to theosophy.org. That is spelled TheSophie.org.
Wow. We'll link in the blog post.
Yeah, we will. And they have a lot of different young raw pours, a lot of different teas that's a little bit older as well. So a lot of stuff to check out. And I think this tea is worth trying.
Totally. Support your local tea vendor, or I guess in this case, if it's online, your online tea vendors. If you folks want to learn more about tea in general, please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you don't know how to subscribe to a YouTube channel, get the fuck off the internet. Sorry, Mom. Love you. So check us out but also go to our website, tdb.org. That's teadb.org. Subscribe to our newsletter. Super popular Instagram, so check us out there. It's a really great way of connecting, and so post your photos, follow us, we'll follow you back. I know James is posting there every day, pretty much, I'd say, or more.
A few times a week at least.
So check us out there. Subscribe down below if you guys like the video. Leave us a comment too. Let us know some of your favorite young raw pour teas you've had that might fit something describing or similar to what we've described here, maybe a little bit abrasive, but has some really great potential, as well as some of those softer palate teas, so that other folks in the community can see your comments and maybe try a new tea out that they haven't had before.
Yep, absolutely.
And we'll see you guys next time on episode 206.
Yep, cheers.